to the end of the PS1's life cycle. Sony has recently relaxed their quality control policies, allowing publishers to release cheap $10 games for the console. Enter Agetec with their A1 line, where they took many titles from D3's Simple series of budget games, yes, the same series that would later produce the cult classic Earth Defense Force and the infamous One-Chanbara series, and brought them to America with games like Top Shop, Battle Hunter, or today's subject, Space Shot. Yeah, think that name's generic, its Japanese name was The Shooting. However, contrary to what you might think, these games weren't all bad. Heck, me and my friends still play Top Shop to this very day. It's quite possibly the best digital version of Monopoly that doesn't involve monster cards. Battle Hunter was pretty fun too, but then there's Space Shot. You know, many hardcore gamers used to say that gameplay was more important than graphics, and Space Shot really puts that theory to the test. I'll be blunt, this game looks ugly. From its cheap-ass title screen to its badly rendered cutscenes, is her face made of wood? Is that clipping in a pre-rendered cutscene? What's with her legs here? To the actual in-game graphics, which are a mess of bad texture work and tons of clipping. Lord, is that a tank or a clipping golem right there? Much of the people who have played this obscure game regard it as a complete mess, with few of them giving it the time of day. However, this is a bit of a shame, as the gameplay is actually pretty good and has some interesting concepts. First of all, you've got the gun pods. As you move forwards, they move backwards. As you move backwards, they move forwards. However, when you hold down square, the fire button, they stay in place, giving you an adjustable spread shot. Then you have your homing missiles, whose targeting cone is determined by the position of the gun pods. The closer together the gun pods are, the longer and narrower the targeting cone will be, and the further apart they are, the wider and shorter the targeting cone will be. Then you have this heat gauge, which is used for two other techniques. Hitting R1 allows you to do a dash that lets you dash straight through bullets and smash into enemies, destroying them and racking up bonus point combos. However, it's still a bit dangerous, as you could stop short and instantly die as you crash into an enemy. R2, however, is used to fire a powerful pink laser beam. When you're not using these techniques, the heat gauge quickly decreases. However, if it ever fills up all the way, you have to wait a moment before it cools all the way back down, and you can use these techniques again, potentially putting you in a tough situation. You have many tools at your disposal, and much of the game is about using these tools to get through the onslaught of enemy attacks. What's really strange, though, is while the game looks terrible, the presentation actually tries. As you can see, these aren't just enemies lazily floating against a static background. These are dynamic backgrounds with the camera doing all sorts of crazy things. And then there's the pre-rendered cutscenes between each stage, which, badly rendered or not, aren't something you normally see in a shoot 'em up. So let's talk about them, as yes, this game does try to have a plot. Our main character is generic leather-clad, sunglasses-wearing badass cyber spears. Then we have Wells, our comedy relief scientist/surfer. Then Nego McFly, the commander's genius hacker daughter of questionably translated gender. And Poss, the cute robot. They form a mercenary group that is sent out to stop the creation of a cyber weapon by the Empire, only to find out towards the end that they've been being used the entire time. Yeah, the plot's kind of generic. I never said it was brilliant, I just said that someone tried. However, as much as I like the game, it does have its flaws outside of the piss-poor graphics and sometimes wonky presentation issues. For starters, one really does have to question if it was a good idea to let you just dash through these bullet hell patterns. And speaking of patterns, the actual enemy attack patterns sometimes feel a little more thrown together than what you'd see in a more professional work. There's also the issue of the missiles, which are practically worthless against anything except the bosses, as by the time you lock onto an enemy and fire a missile, you could have killed them with your regular guns. This could have been alleviated by letting the missiles lock onto things in the background, but they don't. It's a shame too, as I think that really would have made the game a lot better. Also, there are some goofy issues, like the Stage 4 boss actually lets you shoot it while the characters are talking, letting you get off a ton of free shots that make it the easiest boss in the game. And in the final stage, stage 5, there's this issue with these closing doors that can hit you, but you can barely see them due to a combination of piss-poor graphics and overly fast-moving camera. Still, I had a lot of fun with this game, and that's the reason why I bring it up. And while this isn't some lost shoot-'em-up classic, when I play this game, I see a decent game that really got overlooked by a lot of people. It was proof that a $10 budget title didn't have to suck. At least if you honestly believed that gameplay was more important than graphics. It still has its rough edges, but I can't help but think that if this game actually had a real budget, it might have gone down as much of a classic as Einhand, or a few tweaks here and there and some better graphical polish and actually well-rendered cutscenes, and this could have been a good game. It's a decent game, and it kind of makes me sad knowing that someone put some real effort into this game, and most folks are just going to regard it as a piece of crap based solely on the piss-poor graphics. It may not be a lost classic, but it has a special place in my heart. I give it a 3.7 out of 5. Anyway, this is Gel, and you've been GameBabbled. See ya.